I understand the providential set of circumstances that would allow a little Black girl who grew up on a pig farm in southern Alabama to be standing here today. I grew up in a house with no insulation, no running water. When my grandmother used to ask me to come and help her in the garden, I thought she just wanted to spend quality time with me. I had no idea it was for our survival. I tell my children often, because of the sacrifices of those who have come before us, both white and Black, we have an obligation in this country to live well. That if I am willing to put forth the effort, if I am willing to work, if I am willing to discipline myself, perhaps I won't be Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates, but that in America, I can carve out a respectable life for myself. Every 4 years, Democrats come to minority communities with a bag full of promises: free education, universal health care, open borders, guaranteed jobs, guaranteed wages. I have had a front row seat of watching failed liberal policies literally devastate the Black community, that they are now presenting to the broader American culture with the exact same promise to leave all of us broke, broken, and bruised. They will cause me to look at my brown skin as though it has betrayed me in some fashion. I am not a victim. We are victors. If you want to eradicate income inequality, give someone a job, not another program. I believe politics is dirty by design. They intend for good people not to get involved. And for so long, good people like myself and you, we've been sitting on the sidelines. If you want to send good people to Washington, D.C., who will finally begin to represent you and your family, then I need your support. I am running for you to preserve this nation for the next generation. My name is Kathy Barnett, and I am running for U.S. Congress for the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. I am Kathy Barnett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. I understand the providential set of circumstances that would allow a little Black girl who grew up on a pig farm in southern Alabama to be standing here today. I grew up in a house with no insulation, no running water. When my grandmother used to ask me to come and help her in the garden, I thought she just wanted to spend quality time with me. I had no idea it was for our survival. I tell my children often, because of the sacrifices of those who have come before us, both white and Black, we have an obligation in this country to live well. That if I am willing to put forth the effort, if I am willing to work, if I am willing to discipline myself, perhaps I won't be Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates, but that in America, I can carve out a respectable life for myself. Every 4 years, Democrats come to minority communities with a bag full of promises: free education, universal health care, open borders, guaranteed jobs, guaranteed wages. I have had a front row seat of watching failed liberal policies literally devastate the Black community, that they are now presenting to the broader American culture with the exact same promise to leave all of us broke, broken, and bruised. They will cause me to look at my brown skin as though it has betrayed me in some fashion. I am not a victim. We are victors. If you want to eradicate income inequality, give someone a job, not another program. I believe politics is dirty by design. They intend for good people not to get involved. And for so long, good people like myself and you, we've been sitting on the sidelines. If you want to send good people to Washington, D.C., who will finally begin to represent you and your family, then I need your support. I am running for you to preserve this nation for the next generation. My name is Kathy Barnett, and I am running for U.S. Congress for the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. I am Kathy Barnett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. I understand the providential set of circumstances that would allow a little Black girl who grew up on a pig farm in southern Alabama to be standing here today. I grew up in a house with no insulation, no running water. When my grandmother used to ask me to come and help her in the garden, I thought she just wanted to spend quality time with me. I had no idea it was for our survival. I tell my children often, because of the sacrifices of those who have come before us, both white and black, we have an obligation in this country to live well. That if I am willing to put forth the effort, if I am willing to work, if I am willing to discipline myself, perhaps I won't be Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates, but that in America, I can carve out a respectable life for myself. Every 4 years, Democrats come to minority communities with a bag full of promises: free education, universal health care, open borders, guaranteed jobs, guaranteed wages. I have had a front row seat of watching failed liberal policies literally devastate the Black community, that they are now presenting to the broader American culture with the exact same promise to leave all of us broke, broken, and bruised. They will cause me to look at my brown skin as though it has betrayed me in some fashion. I am not a victim. We are victors. If you want to eradicate income inequality, give someone a job, not another program. I believe politics is dirty by design. They intend for good people not to get involved. And for so long, good people like myself and you, we've been sitting on the sidelines. If you want to send good people to Washington, D.C., who will finally begin to represent you and your family, then I need your support. I am running for you to preserve this nation for the next generation. My name is Kathy Barnett, and I am running for U.S. Congress for the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. I am Kathy Barnett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. I understand the providential set of circumstances that would allow a little Black girl who grew up on a pig farm in southern Alabama to be standing here today. I grew up in a house with no insulation, no running water. When my grandmother used to ask me to come and help her in the garden, I thought she just wanted to spend quality time with me. I had no idea it was for our survival. I tell my children often, because of the sacrifices of those who have come before us, both white and black, we have an obligation in this country to live well. That if I am willing to put forth the effort, if I am willing to work, if I am willing to discipline myself, perhaps I won't be Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates, but that in America, I can carve out a respectable life for myself. Every 4 years, Democrats come to minority communities with a bag full of promises: free education, universal health care, open borders, guaranteed jobs, guaranteed wages. I have had a front row seat of watching failed liberal policies literally devastate the Black community, that they are now presenting to the broader American culture with the exact same promise to leave all of us broke, broken, and bruised. They will cause me to look at my brown skin as though it has betrayed me in some fashion. I am not a victim. We are victors. If you want to eradicate income inequality, give someone a job, not another program. I believe politics is dirty by design. They intend for good people not to get involved. And for so long, good people like myself and you, we've been sitting on the sidelines. If you want to send good people to Washington, D.C., who will finally begin to represent you and your family, then I need your support. I am running for you to preserve this nation for the next generation. My name is Kathy Barnett, and I am running for U.S. Congress for the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. I am Kathy Barnett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Kathy Barnett, and as most of you know, I am your endorsed candidate running for Congress for the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. And tonight, we're having yet another virtual BYOB celebrating mothers on this very special day. And as you can see, I have my family here. Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yes, this is my daughter, Kayla. Most of you have seen her pre-COVID because she went everywhere with me. This is my son, Carl Jr. Yes, we have my niece and nephew, the very serious Bella Bear, and Albie. Say hi, Albie.
Hi.
Yes, so we are here, and I wanted them just to say hi to you guys, and also, how did we celebrate Mother's Day?
Well, since my mom has the BYOB on Sunday and Mother's Day is today, we celebrated Mother's Day on Friday by cooking, and I made cheesecake.
I made cupcakes. I made my salad.
And Junior ate. But it was also his day to clean, so he cleaned the kitchen after all the wonderful, yummy messes were made and eaten. And then we went upstairs to have a family movie night, and we heard a loud thump. My husband ran downstairs, and what did we discover?
That our dog Harriet ate up all the
Muffins.
Yes, she did. She ate up all of them. We probably had about 15 left. She ate all of them within a matter of moments. So that was very interesting to witness that. And then today, what did we do?
We spent some time in the garden with our mom.
Yes, and my flower bed got some much needed attention, and we were able to soak up a little vitamin D in the process. My son, his uncle, and my husband played a mean game of basketball, which entertained us all. So that is how we spent Mother's Day. I was able to share it with the people I love the most, and I get to share them with you for a little bit. So from our family to yours, what do we want to say?
Happy
Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. And as they leave out and we continue on with what we have today, because I have the wonderful opportunity of being able to bring to you some other moms right here in the district. Now, as you guys know, right before I bring on our first mom, this is Virtual BYOB. So tell me, what are you drinking? Let me know. I am my faithful water jug. I am so serious about this water jug. I do a gallon of water a day because I am not playing. I am trying to get the toxins away. And that is going to be something we're going to be talking about as we begin to peel back a little bit of our understanding of COVID-19 and what are some of the things we can do to take personal responsibility and how we are impacted by it. But nonetheless, tonight is all about moms. So share and like right now, please share this live stream. You can also host your own watch party. So make sure you do that. It is incumbent upon all of us to make sure that my profile is being raised and people are realizing that they have an option, a much better option than the incumbent, Mad Madeline Dean. And she gave her own self that nickname. And it is a very fitting nickname, right? For who this particular woman is. So please go to our homepage, our official website at www.kathybarnettforcongress.com. kathybarnettforcongress.com. Subscribe, volunteer, read about who we are, look at some of my positions on what it's going to take, how we're going to be able to pivot out of COVID-19, what it is we're going to need to do. Look at what I'm saying about reopening Pennsylvania. How do we do that? How do we begin to focus on that? Learn about who I am and then share that website to other people. Okay, so here we go. The first mom is coming up. I'm so excited.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello, Miss Jennifer. How are you?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Thank you for being on. I'm very well. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you. It's exciting.
I know. I'm very excited. I was looking at my son. I was like,
1 minute I was not a mom. I was free and happy. I had like a ton of time on my hand. And then the next minute I had you and I became a mom. And it's a world that no one can really prepare you for or tell you about. Like you hear people talking about it and you see people around you having babies, but it's a wonderful thing, right?
Such a wonderful thing, a life-changing thing. And it just it changes you as a person to, you are responsible for this little being forever. No matter they get.
And, it took me a number of years to finally say to myself, to rest in the fact that I'm a mom. I'm somebody's mama. Like, that's so weird at first. It took a couple of years.
They're counting on us always.
Always. So guys, I know Jennifer through her husband, but let me tell you who Jennifer is. Jennifer is the National Administrative Manager for Travis Manion Foundation. Did I pronounce that correctly?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, she is the mother of 4 children ranging in age from 16 to 28 years of age. She worked in the pension industry for 12 years and was an elementary school teacher for 12 years as well. She played D1 collegiate soccer at the University of Dayton. All right. Was in the women's national team pool and has coached soccer for 28 years. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm very excited to be here. A little nervous because I've never done this, but that's okay.
That's okay. I'll hold your hand and we'll just go right through this together. Because, I just wanted to be able to celebrate moms, and specifically moms in the 4th district. So tell us, how did you and your family celebrate Mother's Day today?
Well, I was very blessed today. I was able to be with my own mom, which she just recently moved away in the past year, but I was able to go down and be with her. And I was happy that I could do that because we've been separated. And so it was we spent the weekend with her, did some work around her house, checked some things off our bucket list. We made homemade gnocchi together, and today we had a lunch and then came back home. So
you made a homemade gnocchi?
Gnocchi, Gnocchi. It's like Italian pasta made with potatoes. And it was on my bucket list to do in my lifetime. And we did it.
And you did it. Now, I'm so curious, how is this Mother's Day different from last year when we, pre-COVID?
Well, with 4 kids, it's kind of, and their span is very large. So for us, sometimes holidays aren't as strict, doing the same thing, except for Christmas. That's pretty much locked in. But this one was a little bit different. Last Mother's Day, my daughter graduated the day before from Temple University. So her graduation party was the day before Mother's Day. So I basically spent Mother's Day cleaning up from. So, things don't really change.
That's what moms do.
But had a lot of help with my husband and everybody. He made me do less than I normally would do. So but mothers do those kind of things. That's what you do. So
it is what we do, right?
Yeah. So,
what are you grateful about?
I am extremely grateful for a lot of things. I'm very blessed in my life. I had a very strong mother who is a giving, loving person who raised 5 children by herself. So I really had a wonderful experience and a good role model as a mother. But I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful for my current job. I just recently moved to the Travis Manion Foundation and I love it. I am grateful for my husband who constantly supports everything that I do. It's difficult to do things by yourself. So having that good supportive person with you who really does truly support you is wonderful. So I'm super grateful for him. I'm grateful for my children who are working hard and being accountable for their actions. And I'm blessed because you don't always have that. And so that's it. My daughter's getting married this year, but delayed because of COVID. So I'm grateful that she's getting married to this wonderful guy, but I'm sad that her wedding's not happening as anticipated, but grateful nonetheless because he's a good guy. So
Yeah. Now, now tell me, how has COVID made you see things differently?
I would say initially I was kind of like, it's not really changing other than I was working from home a little bit. And then my one daughter had to move, my two daughters, well, one daughter moved back home and one was here and my son was here. And we had kind of had an empty house, just one child at home. So everybody came back. And so it was interesting to see, you know, as your children grow older and they move away, they become more independent and they don't quite need you as much. But when they were home here, I really noticed how COVID really truly affected them. It made them like sad because the norms were gone. The stuff that they expected to happen didn't happen. The regular life stuff that they lived and they kind of took for granted, I guess you would say.
Right.
It kind of upset me more than normally. I would be like, you're fine, move on, it's okay. But
Right.
a different kind of, it's not exactly the same. So I felt like responsible, but I know that there wasn't a lot I could do other than say, you have to look at this with a perspective of what are we going to do and how can we move forward and what can you control and what can you not control, but your heart breaks a little bit for your kids. So
yeah, it's kind of interesting that you would bring that up because this week, every week we're home from COVID. It's like I have a new epiphany. And this week's epiphany was, I really got to stop procrastinating on like some of those things that, like vacations that I wanted to take, but it's like, oh, well, I'll do that next time, right? Or just, places I wanted to go and you just put it off because, oh, well, I do that later. And now I'm like, no, I can't do it.
No.
Appointments I should have made and kept, and I didn't because I was like, oh, well, I do that. I can push that off a little bit.
Right.
And so it's so interesting that you would say that because that's exactly what I was thinking this week is, you know what? When I have the opportunity to do something, I'm just going to do it.
Do it. No regrets because you just never know. And we did not know this. And I think it's a life lesson for us to, keep moving forward and don't give up on those things. Always take a chance and do the stuff that's there for you.
I know, right? Find time to go make that pasta with mom, scratch it off your bucket list. No more procrastinating, just go do it.
Yeah, so that's about it.
I know, now COVID has affected so much about how we look at life because it is very imposing. You cannot ignore COVID and what it has done to our society. It's like one of those it's like 9/11, right? Where were you during 9/11? What were you doing during COVID? So for the future, right? Because as mama bears, we're always, I don't know. I remember my grandmother used to say, when they're little, they're on your knees, but when they're grown, they're on your heart, right? You're always laboring for your children, right? You're always thinking about them. I go to bed thinking about them. I wake up thinking about them.
Right.
And as you look to tomorrow, as you look out into the future, what are you thinking? What are you worried about?
I worry a lot about, I worry about our moral fabric of society and the breakdown of the family unit has always worried me because I feel like it's impacted how we are as a society and how we make some decisions and things. And I think that's been a worry before COVID for me. And then I think now we have to rely on each other. We have to rely on God and we have to be strong together. And when you don't have a family together, I think that makes it very challenging. It doesn't mean that you can't. My mom raised 5 girls by herself, but we had that strong moral voice standing with us, behind us, next to us, over top of us. And I feel like that's a worry to me because with this scenario, things are odd and weird to me. So I think we need strong family connections. So
right.
I think
and what is your hope for our country?
That we come together and we recognize what we, the people, should have and should do and what we owe our country to. I think it's really important that we have a stake in how this turns out, and we have to pay it. And I think that our lives get so busy and inundated that it's hard to stay on top of things, because you have children and you have places to be and you have dinner to cook and the sports to go to and this and that. And we tend to lose sight of staying on top of this is our country and we need to keep it the way.
I love that.
Yeah,
Jennifer, I love that. I love that because, I mean, no, honestly, because, I mean, like, that's what has led me into this strange territory of running for office, right? I am so outside of my comfort. I never intended to run for political office, right? I love understanding what's going on. I love digesting it and finding ways to communicate it effectively to others, right? I love going out into the marketplace of ideas and competing for hearts and minds about our nation, right? But I never intended to actually run for a particular office. But it was while I was sitting on the floor with my children, I homeschooled them. So I'm sitting, teaching them a unit, and it dawned on me, what in the world are they going to inherit? As I look around, this is pre-COVID, and the temperature of our nation was very disconcerting. It was very concerning about what are my babies going to inherit? What kind of country am I preparing them for? And the thought hit me. I remember this Edmund Burke quote, that the only thing that is necessary for evil to prevail, you can stick whatever it is you want to put in there, right? But the only thing that is necessary for evil to prevail is for good men and women to do nothing. Right. And I thought to myself, instead of sitting on the sidelines waiting for someone to swoop down and save us, maybe I should stick my toe into this. Maybe I should throw my hat into this, right? Because I think sometimes we forget that this is our country. And it is about we the people, and I will see politicians giggle when people, the average American would say, right, we the people. They're like, yeah, right, we the people.
No,
this is our country,
right? Yes, I agree. Yeah,
I mean, this is our country, and I am hopeful, Jennifer, that people are realizing just how much power we have abdicated to our elected officials. And they are making decisions that don't necessarily take into account what is best for us.
Right.
So I am hopeful that people hear exactly what you're saying, that this is about we, the people. Oh, look, I have a question for you. It is a rigorous one. It's a rigorous one. Are you ready?
Yes.
Jean is asking, I know, Jean is asking, does Jennifer use potatoes or ricotta cheese with her, how do you pronounce it?
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
Yeah. Potatoes this time. We'll try the ricotta ones next.
I know, right? Thank you, Jean. You have to have those riveting questions because that is key. Does it taste different if you have one over the other?
I've never had the ricotta ones. I've had potato gnocchis before, so I made the potato ones, but I don't. They're probably a little bit more dense. I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? I've never had it, so maybe you can make it. Show me.
Maybe I'll make it and I'll bring you some.
Jennifer, thank you so much. My IT guy, Vico, said he's had it both ways and he loves his mom's gnocchi.
Pumpkin gnocchi too, or something like that.
Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Kathy, and thank you. And I wish you the best. I will be supporting you and following you and helping you because your heart is clearly in this. Someone to say while they're working with their children, I want something more for my children. And God bless you for doing that because I always, like you said, I think about it, but I don't know if I can, but you did. And that's amazing. So that is awesome. And I'm right behind you.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And let me tell you, your husband and so many others have been, very supportive of me throughout this process from the moment that I stood up and said, I'm going to do this. I have had some amazing people who are way more versed at this than I am, come alongside and provide that much needed guidance. And backstories, right? There's a lot of backstory to the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, the various people in the county. And so I am being, my foundation in this is very strong and very determined. And I'm very grateful to you and your family as well.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Montgomery County needs it. All local, small places need this because they have to know how we can move forward in a positive way.
We need hope, right?
Yep.
We need change. I mean, real change. Not that 2008 change, but we need real change. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I love it. I love it. That was Jennifer. I'm so very grateful that she came on. It is so exciting to talk to Mom. Who's next? Is Mary ready? I am so ready. For Mary, I was looking forward to this. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Kathy. It's a pleasure to see you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you. I'm so excited. Look at her name, guys. Mary Woods. I mean, it can't get any better than that. You know you're about to have a great conversation when you run into someone named Mary Woods. So thank you so much for
we are, Kathy.
Thank you so much for being here. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you very much.
Guys, I met Mary. We had I don't know. I was thinking I had scheduled maybe a 5-minute conversation, 15-minute conversation. It turned into one much longer than that. And I am so very grateful for you, Mary. And this immediately as I started talking to you, it was almost like you took this role of a big sister, right? Let me tell you some things. let me make sure you understand some things about politics and the world in which you're stepping in. I appreciated that, Mary.
Well, you're a natural, so it was easy, right? But we need to help each other in politics, especially females. It's hard to be a candidate.
It is, right? Yeah, and you know all about that. Let me tell you guys who Mary is. She's very impressive. Mary was elected second term jury commissioner in 2017, re-elected state committee in 2018, the third term, and reappointed by Governor Wolf to the State Board of Professional Licensing, confirmed by the Senate. Most importantly, and I love this, she is blessed with 6 sons and 2 daughters. How in the world do you do it?
I'm very lucky.
Oh my goodness. What are their ages? What range?
So I had 8 children in 13 years. And I have my 9th is in heaven waiting for us. So we all have to live a good life. So we'll be reunited with her someday. I also have an 18-month-old grandchild who I'm missing terribly because of COVID. We're dreaming of being together again soon.
So you have 8 kids,
I do.
9 kids, and 1 granddaughter.
Yes.
How blessed. You are blessed.
Yes, I am.
God, well, I'm so glad that you have joined us. I open up by sharing a little bit of what my family and I did to celebrate Mother's Day. What did you and your family do today to celebrate?
I'm quarantining with my youngest 2 boys. I Zoomed with all 8, and 2 of the others came and stood at the end of the driveway and brought lots of flowers. So it's like a flower shop in my house right now.
Oh, how great. Now you're still working, right? Because you are an essential employee.
I am, but actually the courthouse is closed until June 1st. So I've been telecommuting and helping people. Anyway,
so you
I'm sorry, we're not having jury time right now.
Yeah, so you've been staying at home as well, right?
Yes.
During this whole time?
I have.
Okay. So you're like the rest of us, but you look good though. You don't have that quarantine look.
A lot of makeup.
So that's a good thing. Now tell us how did you celebrate differently last year? So this is how you celebrated this year. What did you do last year?
So last year I had everybody here and we were running around and playing ball in the yard and all my favorite things. I love to play sports with my children. So that was wonderful. So I am missing them terribly.
Yeah, very different, right?
Yes.
What are you grateful for?
I'm especially grateful that they're all healthy.
Yeah.
Right now I'm happy and they are enjoying their lives despite what's happening in the world around us.
Yeah.
This is a great time for we parents to find out how well we have done, right? Did we inculcate values into our children where they can express compassion for others and courage and perseverance and honesty and loyalty and all the things that we have worked tirelessly, right? And you don't know until it has to bear out. And now we're seeing it, right? Did we raise our children to just be consumers who are sad that they can't go shopping? Or did we raise them to be readers and people who love to sing and dance and just enjoy each other's company?
Oh
and
my goodness.
And we're seeing that.
I love that, right? And I mean, and my babies are still relatively young, but it's a strong admonition for those of us who still have young kids at home, right? What are we pouring into our kids? Because when they get squeezed, it's going to come out. Whatever we poured into them under times of pressure is going to come out.
Yes. And that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's amazing, you know, times like COVID-19, it narrows you to focus on what's really important. That's why I'm always so interested to see what are people grateful for, right? Because before COVID-19, it may be a whole litany of things, right? Oh, I get to travel around the world and my car and all of those things. And then during times like this, we have a tendency to focus on what's most important.
Yes, so we see our priorities and we set them and we need to reset them often, regardless of if there's a pandemic, right? We have to adjust and teach our children to adapt to what's happening.
I agree completely. Now, let me ask you this. I asked Jennifer, so I'm going to ask you. As a mom, we spend so much time focused on our children's future and their lives and, the things that we're concerned with them about. What are you, as you look into the future for your children and for your own life, what do you want to see?
Personally, for my own family, I hope that they will contribute to society. I've tried to set that example by being involved in politics when it is very difficult. That's a tough field to be in when you're a mom, right? When you're being criticized for being a Republican and the values that we hold, that's tough for children to see their mom going through that. But they also have learned, through faith and perseverance, that you have to do the right thing, even when it's difficult. And I hope that they will live that life forever, right?
Yeah.
Doing the right thing, even when it's difficult.
How many kids did you have at home when you first decided to go into politics?
All of them. They were 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, and 14.
Why? Why did you go into politics? Tell me, I want to know. I mean, what made you want to go into politics? Because clearly you had enough to do. It wasn't like it wasn't like you had downtime. So why?
Politics, it finds you, right? But people see something in you that you are a hard worker, that they can trust you. So in 2000, I was asked to become a committee woman, and I thought it'd be interesting. So I did that for a year. And then in 2001, September 11th hit, and my sister was a captain, a pilot for United Airlines. And 2 days prior to September 11th, she was the captain of the flight that was hijacked, that crashed into the World Trade Centers. I might cry. So like everyone else, I was wondering, how can I protect all the people that I love? And I realized that I can't go to Washington, but I can help elect the people that can protect us. And that made me a very dedicated committee person. And I knocked on every door, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and I took all those babies with me. Just threw a couple of them in a double stroller and asked for votes. And I have done that well, for 20 years now as a committee person. The kids grew up, but they'll still campaign with me, thank God. So, and again, they learned that out of tragedy, you can make wonderful things happen. True, right? You can help people that need you and step up, and they have stepped up. And that motivates me, of course, to stay involved.
Oh, I love that. I love that story. Because, again, I've homeschooled my kids for the past 6 years, and in addition to that, I go up to New York. I mean, at one point, a couple of times a week for Fox News hits, and I've written a book, so I'm very active, all over the place doing television and radio spots. And so I too have, don't have a whole lot of extra time just laying around. And when I decided to run, that was perhaps one of my first gut checks was, oh my goodness, this is going to take me away from my family, right? To get into politics. And it was, and it continues to be one of those constant thoughts of, how do you strike balance? How do you find where your comfort is, because this is all consuming. Even during COVID, I am perhaps even more busy today than I was pre-COVID. I'm like, I'm doing all kinds of stuff now. And fortunately, we're all together because we're in this self-contained kind of environment. But that's a constant thought of, a commitment. I'm sure for men, it's equally, I'm a strong commitment, but it has, so much is, I recognize that this level of commitment that I'm making, and yet I feel compelled that, my country, because again, what are my babies going to inherit? We are all going to pass the baton of this nation on to the next generation. And what have I done to make it a little bit smoother, that transition for them, right?
Yes, exactly. And you're setting an amazing example for them. Get involved. And I've seen them on the campaign trail with you. They're beautiful. You've done a wonderful job. They're so polite, sweet, beautiful.
I know. You know what? Because we're homeschooled for one. So everywhere I go, they go. So if someone wants me, I'm like a package deal. You want me? You got to bring my babies too.
Well, lucky us that we get your whole family.
Hey, right. So they're always with me. So they're always at Fox with me. The people at Fox know them very well, or they're all everywhere I go, they're always with me. But I just think that is such a wonderful story, right? That it's a mom's heart. And sometimes it's not just being at home, which is, just being at home is just fine, because if that is where your heart is. But, sometimes for some of us, we're called to make an extra sacrifice on the part of our nation, right?
Yeah, like sleep deprivation works well for us, I guess.
Yes, very much so. I am waking up like at 3:00 in the morning very easily because it's just a commitment. But I think again, it's a driving force when I see those little faces and I recognize that this is the world they're about to inherit. And what am I doing? And and one of the things I've also recognized is that perhaps God, perhaps your calling is not to lead the charge. But we all have a role to play in this nation, right?
Yes,
in preserving this nation.
Yes, we do. Right. And I would recommend the book 1776. If anyone hasn't read that yet, McCullough, it's fabulous. It will motivate you to get involved immediately.
You know what? I love that. I love the date, 1776. We love it. We made a rap song when I was trying to help my kids remember special date, 1776.
Oh, great.
1787, right? 1787, very important when our Constitution was hammered out. So all of these things, because it's very defining on who we are. Tell me, what do you worry about as you look? COVID-19, it's just so invasive. You can't not think about it. So whether with COVID-19, even before COVID-19 hit, what are some of the things that keep you up at night?
Well, I'm always worried about the health and safety of my children first and all the people that I love, and that's a pretty big circle. I want to make the military proud. My father is a World War II veteran, so when you grow up in that household, to be so respectful, to see the disrespect that's happening right now, that hurts my heart. So I pray for them all the time too, naturally for our country, for it to be the dream that the founding fathers wanted us to live, and to a large part we have, but right now it seems to be crumbling, and that concerns me greatly.
Yeah.
That we disrespect each
It
other.
feels like there's a lot of agendas at play in our nation, and all of those. I mean, everyone has an agenda. Some agendas align more closely to things that are patriotic and things that will build up our nation. That will, Jennifer was talking about the family, the breakdown of the family, right? So there are agendas that that build firm foundations so that the family unit can remain strong, so that we have a sense of morality. And morality simply meaning knowing the difference between right and wrong. In our culture, we've veered so far from any concept. To say the difference between right and wrong, people look at you weird. In our culture today, it's more, you're more applauded if you're just fluid and just go with the flow.
Absolutely. And again, talk is cheap, living it is difficult, right? So we can say, oh, sure, I know the difference between right and wrong. But when it comes down to, and that temptation is right there, and it's always there in politics, right? Do you cross that line? Absolutely not. You cannot, because you have to set an example. And especially for us, when we have those beautiful little faces around our kitchen table that we have to see every night, we can't cross any lines, right? That really keep us honest. But it's difficult. Life's difficult.
It is. What do you think our nation need?
Prayer, of course, right? And that adherence to virtues and values that are maybe criticized for being old-fashioned, but there's a lot to be said for living on the straight and narrow, right? And setting an example.
Mary, thank you so much for being on.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your calmness, your calm spirit, because you have never lied. I mean, before you go into politics, for the overwhelming majority of us who have always just kind of been on the outside looking in, you think to yourself, boy, politics is dirty business. And then you step in a little bit and you peek behind the curtain and you have no idea.
Surprise.
You have no idea all the hands that are moving and deciding and picking winners and losers and and all of those things. And I think Jennifer said it best, that this is our country. And it is our responsibility to create our own wind sometimes, right?
And it is hard, and it is all those things that you described, but it's also incredibly rewarding when you can help somebody. Yeah. And I get those calls every day, and I can direct them to people that can help them. And that is absolutely my favorite part about being involved in politics.
I love it. Miss Mary Woods, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you, Kathy. Can't wait to celebrate your win.
Woo! So excited. I am very excited, actually.
So
thank you very much. I love it. I absolutely love it. Those are just two of the moms that we wanted to bring to you guys today. Just kind of talking about, I'm gonna keep going back to what Jennifer said earlier, because I am sensing that more and more people are beginning to wake up and realize that this is our country, and we're not really being listened to. Right? We have politicians, Madeline Dean, Governor Wolf, Nancy Pelosi, and not just on the Democrat side. I'm just going to pick with the Democrats right now, but we know that it's also on the Republican side as well, especially some of those we call establishment Republicans, right? But there are those who get in power. Just Madeline Dean, for example, right? In 2018, she rode the wave into the office of U.S. Congress representing the 4th District of Pennsylvania. She rode the wave on the Me Too movement in 2018. She rode the wave into office in 2018 on women, on eradicating women inequality. And then what did we see her do last week? She's all hugged up on a photo with Joe Biden with the caption, "I'm riding with Joe." Well, what happened to "Just Believe the Woman"? What happened to "I am my sister's keeper"? What happened to that, right? And what we're learning, what many people are learning, hopefully, is that everyone has these agendas, and some of those agendas do not necessarily align with your agenda, right? And we want to have politicians more and more whose agenda aligns with our agenda. My agenda, like I'm sure most of your agendas is that I'm a mom who love her family fiercely. I have young children who want to go to college one day. I have a mother who is now living with me, and she's at the age where she needs good health care. She needs some good options for this stage in her life. I have a young family. We need good jobs, right? And so we need to have people who align with us on those key issues. And let me tell you, receiving another government check is not sustainable. I know it may feel good in the moment, pulling out that $1,200, that extra $600, and putting it in your bank account, but it is not sustainable. And, and it's not wise when you think a politician is going to, because where do they get their money from? They tax us. And do you really think they're going to take $1 out of your left pocket and put $1 in your right pocket, which is, doesn't really make that much sense anyway, right? I can keep my own dollar. But we know they take $1 out of your left pocket and they may put 10 cents of that dollar into your right pocket. And then the other 90 cents, they're spending it on their agendas, which again may not be aligned with your agenda. So guys, listen, this is Mother's Day. I'm very excited. I don't know if we have another person in the room waiting, but thank you guys so very much. Listen, here is our commercial. We're going to get that queued up. This is the one that we have put out there. I'm so very grateful for the team that came and shot it. And for you guys for making sure that we have enough money in the coffers to actually air it. Listen, go to kathybarnettforcongress.com, kathybarnettforcongress.com, and contribute to this campaign. Listen, if I win, you win. Remember that. If I win, you win. You will actually have someone in Washington, D.C. who is committed to representing you. And that is what you want. And I am hopeful that if there's a silver lining in COVID-19, whatever that may be, it is one that we are all remembering what is most important to us. And what is most important to us is making sure that my family is healthy. Then, and beyond my family, making sure my community is healthy, making sure my neighbors are employed, making sure we don't have authoritarian governments like represented by Governor Wolf with their hand across our throat, telling us what is in our best interest. Defying logic, defying science at this point. You guys should really be asking why Madeline Dean is all hugged up with Biden, and yet 80% of the deaths we've suffered in Montgomery County has been among some of the most weakest people or some of the most fragile people in our community, in nursing homes, and live in various types of living facilities. They had a plan apparently to protect them. They just didn't carry that plan out. Why? Why did they not make sure that that the staffers who are working with some of the most fragile people within our country, in our society, in our community, why were they not making sure that those particular staffers did not have adequate PPE? We have adequate PPE. We had enough beds in order to move some of those particular people who are the most susceptible to succumbing to COVID-19 into hospitals. According to Dr. Levin, we've only used 1.46% of our hospital beds are right now being occupied. So clearly we have enough hospital beds. Why has she not talked about that? Why has she not? She has power. She has power, whether we're talking about, a strong woman being able to hold strong men accountable. Joe Biden, she has that power. She's not using it. She's deciding to be all hugged up with him, to be campaigning with him, and in her words, to be riding with Biden. Why didn't she do that? These are the things we need to ask. Why is it that she wasn't a voice for those 80% who are dying, succumbing to COVID-19? These are the questions. I can assure you I will be that voice to represent all of us. Here's your commercial. Make sure you donate. Thank you. Bye.
I understand the providential set of circumstances that would allow a little Black girl who grew up on a pig farm in southern Alabama to be standing here today. I grew up in a house with no insulation, no running water. When my grandmother used to ask me to come and help her in the garden, I thought she just wanted to spend quality time with me. I had no idea it was for our survival. I tell my children often, because of the sacrifices of those who have come before us, both white and Black, we have an obligation in this country to live well. That if I am willing to put forth the effort, if I am willing to work, if I am willing to discipline myself, perhaps I won't be Oprah Winfrey or Bill Gates, but that in America, I can carve out a respectable life for myself. Every 4 years, Democrats come to minority communities with a bag full of promises: free education, universal health care, open borders, guaranteed jobs, guaranteed wages. I have had a front row seat of watching failed liberal policies literally devastate the Black community, that they are now presenting to the broader American culture with the exact same promise to leave all of us broke, broken, and bruised. They will cause me to look at my brown skin as though it has betrayed me in some fashion. I am not a victim. We are victors. If you want to eradicate income inequality, give someone a job, not another program. I believe politics is dirty by design. They intend for good people not to get involved. And for so long, good people like myself and you, we've been sitting on the sidelines. If you want to send good people to Washington, D.C., who will finally begin to represent you and your family, then I need your support. I am running for you to preserve this nation for the next generation. My name is Kathy Barnett, and I am running for U.S. Congress for the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. I am Kathy Barnett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad.
Hey guys, look who just came back in to check on me. Albie. Hey, listen. Not only do I tell my niece and nephew, but I tell my children. I mean, truly, I tell them often, we are not victims in this nation. We are victors. There are so many who have come before us, who have sacrificed, both Black and white people who have come before us in this nation and who have sacrificed so much to make sure that we have what it is that we have today. And I earnestly believe what I can do to honor them, to show my appreciation for all that they have done, for all that they have sacrificed. The best thing I can do is live well. I tell my children that all the time. We have an obligation in this nation to live well. We have an obligation to make sure that we are living the best life we can possibly live. There are so many opportunities. And having this recognition does not mean I have amnesia. I can walk and chew gum at the exact same time. I can recognize the good, the bad, and the ugly. right? And still come out on the other side thanking God that I am an American, thanking God that this is my nation. This is a wonderful nation. It is the greatest nation that has ever, it's the greatest nation that has ever existed, solely because it was founded upon the greatest political document that has ever been written, and that is the U.S. Constitution. So when you have the governor in New Jersey saying the Bill of Rights is above his pay grade, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's not above our pay grade. We need to defend it, because what makes us so special is not anything so special about you and I. It's our Constitution. That is what makes us special. And it is made only for a moral people, people who understand the difference between right and wrong. And when it's their turn to stand, they're willing to take that stand. And my family and I, we have committed ourselves to being willing to take that stand. And trust me, I am no martyr. I am not trying to be a martyr for anyone. I recognize that I cannot do this without you. This is a formidable fight. And yet we are engaged in this fight on all cylinders, and we are determined to come out as victors on the other side of this. Yeah, I know what the odds are. And yet I remember 2016. Greater odds was against President Trump. And look, we're calling him President Trump and not Madam Clinton, right? Madam President Clinton. We're not calling, can you imagine if we were going through this with her? No. So I need your help. I need you to go to kathybarnettforcongress.com, and I need you to give. I need you, if you can give $10, thank you. If you can give $50, thank you. If you can give $2,800, praise the Lord. We need you right now to give. The end of the primary season is coming very quickly, and what we would have been able to receive, that portion of it will be closed to us. We need to be able to go into the general election strong. If I lose because we don't have enough money, it is not going to be because of me. If I lose, period, it's not going to be because I didn't do all that I could do. If I lose, is it because you didn't do all that you could do? Whether it is donating financially, or whether it is donating your time. We need you to come alongside us right now. Please go to kathybarnettforcongress.com and sign up to volunteer. Sign up for yard signs. We have the coolest yard signs that are now available. And I'm driving around in my neighborhood, and I'm seeing so many people with their yard signs out there. Not only is it a personal encouragement to my heart and to my family and what it is that we are sacrificing for our nation, but it also is name ID. It raises the name profile, but also it tells others that we are in this to win it. So go to kathybarnettforcongress.com and subscribe so that we can keep in touch with you, because when the gates of this economy opens back up, we intend to be hitting the ground running, and you don't need to be playing catch up. We need to already have your information out there so that you know exactly where we are, what we're doing, and how you can engage. But also sign up to volunteer. Sign up to get a yard sign. Let us know you want a yard sign, how many of those signs. And most importantly, pick up your phone, text your neighbor, tell them to go to kathybarnettforcongress.com. This is someone you need to know about. We can win. We will win. I need you to come on now. Okay? Talk to you guys soon. I'm so ready to get out of this house and to meet you once again. Blessings. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.